Thank you for joining us for Triple Play Fantasy. Another wonderful episode for you. We're already talking about week 11. That's insane. Make sure you stay tuned because we're going to hopefully win you some more money this week. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Zach at FF Chupa Batman. I'm always joined by the great and wonderful Doc at AAA Fantasy and also the great and wonderful Alex at Alex Mateo 94. Good evening, gentlemen. Can you believe it? Yeah. Can
Let
you
me
believe
tell
it's week
you,
11?
I can't believe it's week 11, and I played David in 2 leagues this week where he needed wins for the playoffs in both of them, and I beat him in both.
Ooh, the brotherly love.
Gotta love it. Yeah, week 10 wasn't so kind to me in a few leagues. I got hit by the bye weeks pretty hard.
That's because you have all Eagles.
League.
That's why.
Yeah. Well, I assume my home league's watching. Yeah, I put the smackdown on all of them. I almost put up the high score for the season. My bye weeks were kind to me this week. Thank you I had worse bye weeks earlier, so that worked out. And then in Scott Fishbowl, I went 2-0 finally. So I'm now 2 wins away from making the playoffs for the first time.
Oh, same.
Nice.
And I'm right on the edge of the scoring cutoff. So most likely I will lose somehow and then not score enough points by like 4 points like last year and miss the playoffs for a 4th year in a row. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, Scott Fishbowl, go to scottfishbowl.com, sign up. It's a wonderful charity event. It's awesome. I'm actually shopping for Toys for Tots in a few weeks down here in Florida, so very excited for that. But we'll get right into it. We're already talking about week 11, but before we get to week 11, I need one thing you took away from week 10, Alex.
All right, the tight end position's been very hit or miss this year, just like it has been in previous years. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Trey McBride is going to be a set it and forget it tight end for the rest of the year. Since he's taken over, he has 3 top 12 games, including 2 of the last 3 weeks. The tight end 1 or 2. He's seen 5 targets in every game since he took over that full-time role. And he immediately had that chemistry with Kyler. He's going to be someone who's going to be seeing 7 to 9 targets for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Trey McBride, it's about damn time.
Yep. Got him in the 14th round of Scott Fishbowl. He's been killing it for me.
Hopefully he can carry you to that playoff berth, right?
I need it. It's been too long. What was your one takeaway, Doc?
I feel like we need to start having the dialogue more that Trevor Lawrence might not be the quarterback that we hoped he would. And obviously, it's season by season, it's game by game. But going into week 11, he has 9 touchdowns and 10 turnovers. That's awful. And he has a great supporting – I wouldn't say great, but I'd say he has an above-average supporting cast. He probably has a top 10 running back this year in Travis Etienne, great coaching. Watching the Jaguars game like I did against the 49ers, he made a lot of great throws, but a lot of errors that led to interceptions that people going into their 3rd year shouldn't make.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. He's been very, very underwhelming. And you would think in the 2nd year with Doug Peterson as the coach, 2nd year in that system, there would just be less of those mental errors that he's playing like a rookie at times. You would almost think he's only a few games into the system, not a 3rd year player. And we're getting to the point where he's going to be coming up for that contract extension. He's going to get paid because you're not going to let him walk out the door. But that can really handicap the Jaguars moving forward.
It's crazy to think they've played 10 games and he's thrown for over 300 yards in only one of them.
That is extremely surprising.
It doesn't help that Etienne's been scoring some crazy long touchdowns. But yeah, I would say from a redraft standpoint, he's been a bust for you. no matter where you drafted him. And from a dynasty standpoint, he's also a little bit of value. He's probably still a top 12 QB in dynasty just with his age, his pedigree. Like you said, he's not getting benched. And you can't say that about, it feels like half the league right now. So, so I would agree though that he definitely has taken a downturn when we were all expecting the Jaguars to take the next step. For me, my takeaway, speaking of quarterbacks, is quarterbacks matter for your fantasy weapons. So Tommy DeVito or Danny DeVito, depending on how you feel about the Giants, was the 10th rookie quarterback to start in a game this season. That is a season record. It was week 10. We already broke the record in week 10. So we still got a lot more of the season left to play. And most of those rookie QBs, other than like CJ Stroud or these backup quarterbacks that come in, they are awful for your wide receivers and your running backs, your tight ends. So if you've been suffering through that, I mean, you have to kind of, when you're deciding this is a big name guy, he's got a bad QB, you might have to bench him, especially as we get closer to the playoffs. It sucks, but I mean.
So what other quarterbacks are you talking about? Name them. Air their dirty laundry.
I mean, Aidan McConnell, he's doing nothing.
So you're benching Devontae Adams?
I mean, I recommended benching him last week. He got plenty of targets, but he hasn't been done much several weeks.
2 wide receivers in a flex PPR league, 10 or 12 teams, you're benching him.
Yeah, I can't.
I probably wouldn't bench him, but he's definitely not going to put up the numbers you drafted him for.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll definitely be getting the floor production.
I mean, I feel like you have to start. I feel like you have to start him because of draft position. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're excited about Dobbs with the Vikings, but I mean, he's a roller coaster still waiting to happen. The Falcons quarterback is not helping whoever's playing.
I feel like both those situations have gotten better from where they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I would respectfully disagree.
I would rather have Taylor Heineke than Desmond Ritter for Falcons pass catchers, and I'd rather. I
think Ritter will be back after the bye week.
Yeah, they didn't go back. Didn't they go back to Ritter?
Heineke got hurt.
Heineke got hurt. I would like to think that Josh Dobbs is better than the thought of going into Jaron Hall 2 weeks ago.
I think Josh Dobbs is better. I'm just saying, as exciting and great of a story Josh Dobbs is, doesn't mean he's going to be amazing for all of the assets. Now, when Jefferson gets back, Jefferson's Jefferson. You're not benching Jefferson, but I don't have as much excitement for like Addison.
I think the one you can make the biggest case for with being impacted, Chris Olave, and anyone.
Oh, I'm excited now that Jameis is potentially, but now they're saying that Derek Carr will be back after the bye week.
Yeah, they paid Derek Carr. Zach, you and I will have a friendly bet till the end of the season. I think it's great for the Vikings pass catchers. TJ Hawkinson, a season-high 15 targets last week with Josh Dobbs. Like Josh, he opens up the offense. He's more mobile than Kirk Cousins ever was, and they have a lot of dynamic playmakers. So I will happily take you up on a friendly bet of just Josh Dobbs cooking the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbs
we'll talk about it.
Dobbs
top 12 QB rest of the season.
I'll be genuinely shocked if he's not a top 10 QB the rest of the year.
Oh, top 10, Alex topping me.
Truly shocked.
We'll talk about it. I'll think about it.
The rushing production has been elite. He's averaging more rushing yards per game than both Jalen and Lamar.
We don't deserve him.
No, his Creed TikTok mashups with his
he's been a great story.
We love it.
All right, so week 11 buys. If you thought week 10 was bad, it's not as bad as week 10. But we have 4 teams again: Falcons, Colts, Patriots, Saints. So not a ton of big name guys like we had last week, but still plenty of starters for you that you got to work around. And we're getting really close to those fantasy playoffs. Injury update: Justin Fields steeled in with a thumb. We're hoping he's back this week. TJ Hawkinson went off last week, but he's still dealing with a rib issue. It felt like every time he got hit, he wasn't getting back up, but he kept getting back up. Justin Jefferson has been activated from he's off IR to be able to like practice, but he hasn't been
practice.
Yeah, but he hasn't been activated yet to play. Everyone's leaning towards him coming off his hamstring injury and playing this week. We shall see. Deshaun Watson got hurt again, this time an ankle injury. He's expected to play, but you never know. Alexander Madison got a concussion. Just based on concussion protocol, we don't expect him to play. And then Garrett Wilson had an elbow injury. Haven't seen much about that at all. So curious to see how that impacts him. And then Keenan Allen got a shoulder injury, left the game, came back, left the game, came back again, and he had another amazing game. So got a couple questions for you guys. I'm assuming Madison's going to be out this week. Can you start Ty Chandler this week? Because I think he's going to be the big name for the waiver wire.
I feel like if you're desperate for a running back, if you have Jonathan Taylor or Bijan Robinson and you're in a bye this week with the bye weeks, I feel like he's someone you can plug in as like a flex or back end running back for you. Don't expect elite production, but it'll be serviceable for you.
I think you could get 40 yards and a touchdown, and you probably play him.
Yeah, no, that's probably about what the expectation should be. You shouldn't. Not saying you as in you specifically, but like you shouldn't be going in expecting like 100 yards, a touchdown.
And he's going to do that just to spite you.
Just because I said that.
Fair enough. Yeah, he'll be the hot pickup this week, but
yeah,
I can only.
What if you already got him last week because you thought one step ahead?
Well, then he's already on your team, and he won't be the hot pickup in your league. All right, and then my last question, based on injuries, Keenan Allen, is he the best value at wide receiver this season so far?
It's got to be him, Thielen, or Puka.
Yeah. Just off of
because
Puka.
Keenan Allen, I think, was a 4th round pick in terms of ADP. Thielen and Puka went late or undrafted. Thielen wide receiver 10, Thielen wide receiver 8, Puka wide receiver 10. But let me tell you, like Keenan Allen's great.
Yeah, I was about to say I would probably still go Keenan just because there hasn't really been that dip game for him.
Like in PPR, he's the wide receiver 2 right now in points per game and in just total fantasy points. He's only 2 points behind Tyreek Hill in points per game.
You know what? I'm actually going to change my answer to Keenan Allen. He has 2 40-point games. That can help win you a week right there. That's more valuable than just having 28 points for Thielen. Nah, that 40, that's just intimidating to look at.
All right, now 9 games played. How many touchdowns do you think he scored?
I'm not going to answer this because I have it open.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Probably
six touchdowns, which it's actually a lot. It's up there. The most right now is Tyreek Hill with 8, Stephon Diggs with 7, and then Keenan Allen and AJ Brown both have 6. But I mean, what was it? A year or two ago, the narrative around Keenan Allen, other than he was injury prone, which just wasn't true, was that he couldn't score touchdowns, and it felt like 6 was like his ceiling. And that just feels like he is going to exceed, at least get to double-digit touchdowns pretty easily this season, knock on wood, because I have Keenan Allen in too many leagues. But, I think his value has just been insane. And the other guys you named have been great, and I would say have far exceeded their ADP compared to Allen. But I feel like they're kind of falling off due to their situations where I don't see Keenan Allen falling off
not at
barring
all.
injury.
If you look at Keenan's week to week, he has 1 game single digits. That's exactly what you need from someone you're drafting him as your wide receiver 2 on your team. And when he's giving you that elite floor and ceiling, it's a no-brainer for him. You can honestly put him in the conversation for your fantasy MVP for the year with how he's been producing.
He takes more of a beating than anyone at receiver, I swear.
Yeah. You did mention a name, though, Puka Nacua, and I was was like, targets, let's see. So Keenan Allen's tied for 5th in targets with 97. Leader Stephon Diggs at 102. And Stephon Diggs has an extra game. So that kind of cheating. Mm-hmm. However, Puka Nacua, 1 less target than Keenan Allen with 96. Same amount of games played. That's crazy.
His volume didn't drop at all once Cooper Kupp came back. Stafford's going to be back this week, they said. So, Eric, looks like our bet's already off since it was contingent on Matt Stafford not playing.
We'll see. His body's breaking down. There's no way he lasts the rest of the season.
Well, speaking of that, we'll go to our favorite bets. And I would like to preface this with Doc and I were all over the Falcons last week. Felt like great odds. I thought they were going to pull it off. We had it. And then the Falcons are going to Falcon, just like the Chargers go Charger.
I feel like we have to keep doubling down at this point. We have to keep betting on Atlanta. And for me, I'm actually putting money on this. for keep doubling down because it's going to happen.
I'm not betting on Atlanta, but I want to give props to Alex for his props because he did have a great call with the Texans with the points against the Bengals.
And put my money where my mouth is, except I took Texans straight money line there.
Ooh.
It's the one I sent in the group chat, that little parlay.
There you go. And
Big bucks or nothing.
Doc, please tell me it's not the Falcons this week. Who is your favorite bet or prop of week 11?
All right. Well, it can't be the Falcons this week because they're on their bye. If there's a line that you can bet them, please let me know. I like the Chargers -3 over the Packers. The Packers are 1-5 in their last 6, and they have lost by 4 more in 4 out of those 5 games. Coming against the Chargers, who just lost in a heartbreaker against Detroit, this is essentially a must-win at 4-5. I think they're aggressive. I think they just come out firing, and I don't think they ease up at all. I think this is a game that they're going to make sure they win.
Yeah, it feels like a must-win for the Chargers. I like that one too.
I love the Chargers, and I'm a Chargers fan. That's my AFC team. But
oh my gosh, Zach, you have so many teams I can't keep up with.
I have 2 teams: the Cowboys and the Chargers. That's it. Cowboys are my team
for football, and then you got your baseball team, you got your hockey team, you got your soccer team.
They're different sports, of course. I have different teams. But no, the Chargers.
But they're spread out. They're spread out, which is why it feels like a lot.
Oh yeah, no. I just like sports, but yeah. I love the Chargers. I feel so dirty betting them because they're just going to find a way to screw you over. My favorite bet of the week is the Dolphins over 29.5 points at -120. They play the Raiders at home. And why I mention at home is the Dolphins have scored over 30 points in all 4 of their home games this season. I know, small sample size, against the Broncos, Giants, Panthers, and Patriots, which is no teams you'd write home about. And everyone talks about how they can't beat winning teams. Well, the Raiders are not a great defense either. So I'm going to take that.
I like that one.
I like that too. Small sample size is half the season.
Yeah, it is half their home games.
Yeah. And Faith makes a good point. She is a Patriots fan. It's the only week you can bet on the Falcons and the Patriots and feel good about it.
Which team enjoys their bye week more?
It got to be the Falcons, at least.
Well, that's something you could bet on, I wish.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to find a bookie. Legally, of course. And we'll move on to the next segment. My favorite, real and spectacular. What?
We never.
Oh, we forgot Alex. Alex, our best prop, our best better here. Your favorite.
I'm taking surprise. It's on the Eagles Chiefs game. I'm taking the over on that 46.5 points. Both teams coming off their bye, extended rest. The 2 times Mahomes and Jalen played each other, it was 42-30 and 38-35 in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be shocked if one of those teams individually come close to that 46.
That is crazy. That is crazy based on those, that the line wouldn't be closer to like 49 or 50.
Yeah.
That is interesting. And
the Eagles are given 3, so I feel like neutral field, it would have been a push as well.
Okay. This might be one of the few Eagles bets I'll roll with.
I can feel your hurt from the NFC Championship game last year still, Doc. I get it.
You know what's interesting about Philly? And I'm so glad the Phillies lost, by the way, because y'all deserve it.
They deserve the way they played.
Philly fans brag a lot about not winning the entire thing. Like, who cares if I don't talk to Cowboys fans and like, yeah, we beat you all the time in the playoffs because we don't win anything. You got to win it all to have bragging.
Okay. Before we move on, we are known for suffering. If you break it down,
you have a Super Bowl in your lifetime. I don't feel bad for you.
We got 1.
Okay, I have 0. Since I've started watching, and I've had 6 heartbreaks.
Yeah, but the Niners have won more than 1.
Not since I've been a fan. I wasn't coherent enough to understand that. That's how I judge it.
The city of Philly, we suffer. We've suffered so much.
The Phillies and Eagles.
Nobody cares about your suffering, Alex. we're moving on. One more. Speaking of Phillies bet for you. Which Kelsey brother are you betting on? Travis just got back from his girlfriend Taylor Swift's concert in Argentina. You got Eagles and Chiefs.
I'm betting on the Swift Kelsey pairing in Philly.
All right.
I'm betting both brothers do the podcast the week after.
Fair bet.
Yeah. Oh, great bet. We got T Money Reacts in here. Needs trade help. Send it to us, T Money, and we'll do our best. While we're waiting for your trade question, we'll move on to the next topic: real, spectacular, or fake. So basically, it's true or false. Josh Allen is QB2 in points per game. That is a fact. But he will not help you win a fantasy football championship this season. Real and spectacular or fake?
We'll go fake. 3 games less than 15. I know he leads the league in turnovers, but he also accounts for a lot of touchdowns on the ground. He has 7 this year, 19 through the air. I mean, he has 1 dud this year, and that's at Jets week 1. It's not going to be ugly. It might be garbage time, but
yeah, I can't really disagree. You pretty much hit the nail on the head.
All right. And Team Money hasn't come in yet, but Team Vision Z, thanks for tuning in. Trade away Gibbs and DK for Gibbs. So we got a typo here.
Yeah.
So let us know who it is. We'll find out. All right. Moving on to our next real spectacular fake. Christian McCaffrey has 24.5 points per game, and Tyreek Hill has 24.9 points per game. Everyone keeps saying CMC should have been the clear 101 this season, but Tyreek Hill is actually the clear 101. Real and spectacular or fake?
I would say fake just for the fact that there's still more production at the receiver position as a whole this year. The running back, the drop-off, the injuries, you name it. We're talking about Ty Chandler being a startable running back for you this week.
That's exactly why you get the surefire people like Tyreek Hill that can put up 54 in a week. And if you have running back duds, who cares? Because he carried your entire team.
Yes, I see that point, but at the same time,
good. I'm glad we agree.
No, but at the same time with CMC, he raises the floor so much that you don't have to reach for a running back in your mid rounds of the draft. You can still get viable receivers.
We can talk off air because as a 49ers fan, I'll gladly disagree with you.
All right. We got some trade questions now coming in. So we found out he meant Diggs. So it's got to be Gibbs and DK for Diggs.
I wouldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either.
I would keep the
Gibbs is probably too valuable just as a running back, as we were just talking about running backs. And then T-Money came in here with, would you all trade Eckler and Waddle and Debo for Amon-Ra and Jacobs? And then send Kincaid for Ridley.
Wow,
he gave us some
complete
more
roster makeover.
So it's an 8-man PPR, 2 flex. He's got a lot of players. I'm not going to read them all off. Team is 6-4. So basically, he needs to make a move. And I will say, playing in an 8-team league myself, the hardest is making roster decisions. So I'm all about consolidating talent as much as possible. So the original trade.
That's tough.
Yeah. I'd do it.
I would. It's more of a lateral move with Eckler and Jacobs, and I would take Amon-Ra over Waddle and Debo.
There's just a lot of risk.
And I wouldn't move
his side.
I would not move Kincaid for Ridley. I will say that.
Correct. Sure. I would keep Kincaid. I don't want Ridley, but I would do that 3 for 2, which sounds crazy, but it's because he's 6-4. It's an 8-team league. You're consolidating assets a little bit more, and I just like the consistency of Amon-Ra.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Very well said, Chalupa.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Rare time that we'll agree.
That might be our first agreeing on a trade. Yeah. Crazy. So definitely don't make that trade now, because if we're all agreeing on it, it's not going to be good. But no, do it. Make the trade. All right. Last one for real spectacular fake. Even though Travis Kelce is the tight end 1 in points per game, 17.1 points, he was not worth a first-round pick, because he is not separated from the other tight ends like in previous seasons. So right now you have Hawkinson at 16.1, Andrews at 14.6, Laporta at 13.2, and Kittle at 12.8. Real and spectacular or fake?
I'll let you start this one off, Eric.
I'm going to say fake because look at some of the other people you could have had in round one. You could have had Justin Jefferson right now. He's only provided 4 viable weeks. Nick Chubb, Cooper Kupp was still going in a lot of round ones, even before the news came out. Saquon has had very few boom weeks. You have to start a tight end. And besides him not playing in week one, he's been fairly consistent. And especially if you play in an 8-team league, like you're getting one of the top tier at the position. So I'm going to say fake.
Yeah, I completely agree. It raises having that lock of Kelsey gives you so much more flexibility every other round of the draft.
Fair enough. And we will move on to another fun segment. Who are you eating off your roster? So you can't stand them anymore. You need to get rid of them.
You could just call it the Jahan Dotson section or section of the show.
Feels like it should be for me because I want to say him again. He was going to be my pick. After his 0 for 0 for 0, he had 2 targets. Congratulations. After you got so excited after 2 weeks of great production, he Jahan Dotson'd it with a 0. So, Alex, who are you eating off your roster?
This shouldn't be a surprise. And if they're on your roster at this point, you're just wasting back-end bench spots. Any New England Patriot besides Ramondre Stevenson shouldn't be on your roster. Don't really need to.
Especially on the bye week.
Especially on the bye week. If you need a kicker this week, if you need a defense, you can drop anyone on the Patriots besides Stevenson and not hurt your team long-term for the rest of the year.
Facts. Doc, who are you eating?
For me, it's Michael Thomas. I got injured Sunday.
Didn't we eat him like a month ago?
Still owned in 75% of ESPN leagues.
Clearly, more people need to listen to us because I'm pretty sure Alex eated him
week 7.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you were hampered by bye week, that's part of my argument is if you needed help through bye weeks or like injuries, if you had Cooper Kupp, I completely get that. But the Saints are going into their own bye. So he's not even going to be available for next week. Like if you have any hope that he's going to return this season, you might as well take a flyer on a running back like Travion Williams than own someone like Mike Thomas the rest of the year.
I think it's a knee injury too. Like I don't expect him coming back anytime soon. Even if he does, he's been terrible when he has been healthy. So yeah, no, you guys should have listened to Alex. You should have yeeted him a month ago. If you didn't listen to Alex, listen to Doc now. Yeet him immediately.
Better late than never. Just wasting roster spot at this point.
So our random tight end touchdown of the week, I got to hit one a couple weeks ago, and then
wasn't it a great feeling? I wouldn't know what it's like, but I can just imagine.
You've never felt that before, but
no,
we threw him.
I did not have one last week because I didn't have time to do the prep. I did the prep this week, but first, Doc, I need to know who is your random tight end touchdown of the week.
So I know I sound confident a lot, and it rarely hits. It rarely does. And by rarely, never.
You mean never.
But Josh Wiley, backup tight end for the Titans.
That's who I put.
Really?
No, absolutely not.
Last week, 5 targets, ran 27 offensive snaps. The Titans have been running 2 tight end more times. Chigakonkwo is, we had him maybe like tight end 12, tight end 15. Hasn't even been worth it this season. Like, it just feels like Josh Wiley gets on the board Sunday and gets his first touchdown. And this is going to be the one that hits. Like this, I might have to see his odds for first touchdown. All right, Zach's so surprised by his. Alex, do you have a random tight end touchdown?
I am going Dallas Goedert's replacement.
Jack Stoll.
Calcaterra.
Ooh, I like a good Grant Calcaterra.
Oh, it's all good. He brought a good guest.
Yeah, no, sorry. So Madison, I don't know if you guys could hear it downstairs, has been screaming her head off for a while. So we called an audible.
She wanted to give her tight end pick. It's all good.
She wants some data time.
She wanted to tell Zach that Grant Calcaterra, that's for last game, had a concussion. Doesn't have a target this year, so that's going really outside the box.
I've never even heard of him. So great call, Alex. That one's definitely not hitting. But if it does, we will name the segment after you for the rest of time. Hopefully you've heard of my guy, but he did play in the XFL at one point. Donald Parham with the Chargers.
Oh, that's not random.
That is random. That's
the average person has
You're
heard of Donald
outvoted.
Parham.
Go look up his roster percentage right now. Tell me it's not random. So
I mean,
Green
roster
Bay,
percentage is different than name recognition. 1.7.
name recognition.
Zach, I'll get. Donald Parham has a 4 for 43 and 1 touchdown game this year. I think he caught the first touchdown for the Chargers to begin the season.
What's his roster percentage?
It's 1.7, but I guarantee you I guarantee you 1.7.
Okay.
I guarantee more than 1.7% of fantasy football players know who Donald Parham is.
I think you could drop a poll after the show. Do you know who Donald Parham is?
Because all of our audience plays fantasy football.
So put it on the Twitter. Put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll try it out. We'll see. So Donald Parham, we got Everett is banged up. So we'll see. He might get a little bit more. He's had at least 40% of snaps for the last 5 weeks, and he's had at least 2 targets in 8 of 9 games. The one game he didn't, he at least had 1 target. So at least he's good for 2 targets, typically in the red zone. He's only got the 1 touchdown on the year, but I'm feeling it this week with Everett banged up. He is my random, good enough random.
Zach, how many touchdowns do you think he has on the year?
He might have 2 now.
He has 4.
He has 4. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah,
what a great call.
Against Minnesota earlier this year. This is what part of the reason he's popular. He had 2 catches for 4 yards and 2 touchdowns week 3.
I love it.
So he's so popular. He's 1.7% rostered.
Yeah, because he's tight end 25, but you've heard of him.
Of course I've heard of him. I feel like you're just upset because I actually got one right a few weeks ago.
I mean,
there's some sour grapes.
Honestly, not much. Because I'm trying to go super obscure and random, like tight ends nobody has heard of.
In my defense, my guy played in the XFL. That feels pretty random.
Yeah. All
right. So we got a question from the Smitty. QB Purdy. Okay, what are we doing here? Would you trade Lamar for Kupp and Eli Mitchell?
No,
I wouldn't.
He's already got Purdy. Colin Sutton. I mean,
if I'm moving
Lamar, I would want a safer receiver.
This is trading Lamar at his lowest value coming off 3.
No, I think he's getting Lamar.
No,
he already says he has Cooper.
I was thinking Amari Cooper.
Oh,
former Cowboy Amari Cooper.
His wide receivers are rough.
Yeah, but Eli Mitchell isn't really worth anything, so it's Lamar for Kupp.
Oh no, Eli Mitchell's nothing.
I think if you're trading Lamar,
him in there for a backup,
I'd want to say for a receiver.
I think you could. He would trade for Lamar. Oh yes, I would do that.
No, he's saying he would move Lamar.
He would trade away
Lamar. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he was correcting me.
I'm keeping
Lamar.
I would. Yeah. If I'm moving him, I would want a safer receiver.
Lamar's been extremely frustrating from a fantasy standpoint. He's playing at MVP level, though, from a real football standpoint. I was just listening to, I want to say it was JJ Zacharyson, and I'm sorry if it wasn't JJ. But the amount of tight end or touchdowns the Ravens have scored from a running back has been an insane amount compared to their passing offense, and it's just not sustainable.
I think it's all he's been involved in like one of their last 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of time.
The frustration is understandable.
Yeah, and the game before that, he had 33.8. So
exactly.
I would not trade Lamar for Addison either if you're getting Addison.
I would not. I would trade Purdy for Addison if you could do that.
Yeah.
I would do that as well. But good luck, D. Smitty. It is time for a lot of people's trade deadline. So a lot of trades out there. Good luck. Hang in there. You finally ready to go to sleep?
I think she wants to give her tight end pick.
We save that for Club Fantasy FFL. Tune in to that channel once a week for our Don't Get Too Cute segment. We'll cross brand promotion there. She knows not to give anything away before Wednesdays. We record on Wednesdays. But I think, do you guys have anything else? I think that's all I got for this week. It's an exciting week.
Go Chiefs!
Ooh. Go Eagles.
No, that's a surprise.
Yeah. Hey, rocking the vintage Dawkins. You said, see if I can keep it going.
You are keeping it
for the rest of the season.
Quick story. I met Brian Dawkins in person.
Really?
Yep. I rented him a stroller, at Hollywood Studios for his daughter.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
Super
two
random.
truths and a lie that you would say on a Tinder profile.
There you go. Yeah, no, he was a very large gentleman. I immediately recognized him, and I didn't want to call him out by name because I didn't want to get fired. He was super nice, and I was just like, "What name would you like on the back of your stroller?" Because I knew he didn't actually want his name. I forget what name he picked, but he was incredibly nice, and yeah, that's why D. Smitty has Purdy, Mike, and Eli Mitchell in that trade, and has CMC. Makes sense. He's an Irish fan. Good luck, D. Smitty. But thank you all. Thank you, Madison, for joining us. A special guest. Was not expecting you. Yeah. But you've been wonderful since I've been holding you, so I appreciate that. And with that, guys, cheers. Good luck this week. Got those much-needed wins in Scott Fishbowl or whatever leagues you guys are in. And thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. It's a great way to support us. But subscribe. That is the best way to support us. And we don't just talk fantasy football. Now, I just talk fantasy football. You don't want to hear me talk about other sports right now. But our buddy here, Doc, he's on the baseball podcast. We also talk basketball. There's a lot of stuff on this channel. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you hit that bell, subscribe. So thank you all. We will see you next week for week 12. Feels weird to say, but we're into the crunch time. So hopefully your bets are profitable and you win your matchups. With that, have a great night, everybody. Want to say bye, Madison? All right. There's a little smile at the end. Yeah. All right. Have a great one, everybody.